Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first ever webinar, which is on SEO in the age of AI. So, hi, everyone. Let me know that who all are you, from where have you joined? Give me a hi, give me a high five. That would give me a little bit calmness, I think. Yes, let's see who all have joined. Yes, okay, we have Bhavesh. We have Pallavi. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all. Mittal. Oh my God. Hi, Mittal. We have Sagar. Oh, hi, Sagar. Hi, Harshal. Oh my God. So good to see you. Jhalak. Jhalak, dude. Yes. Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. We have Kasi Rajan. Yes, we have Sneha. Hello, hello, Kasi. Hello, Neha. So, guys, where are you from, by the way? Just Ahmedabad or Mumbai, Delhi, Pune? Sitting from some very amazing view, or what is it? Or just in office like me? Okay, we have people from Mumbai. Oh, nice. Hi, Karan. Oh, Shubham. Hey, Shubham. Oh, okay, Chennai. Oh, right. Nice. Chennai. We have our team member from Chennai, so we have more love for that as well. Oh, ho. Hi, Rahul. Naam to suna hi hoga. Well, we have. Oh, yes, Neha is from Ahmedabad. Oh, great. Great, guys. So happy to see you all. We are very, very much excited to invite and welcome you. And just a little bit of introduction of mine. Say, as you always know, that I am Himani Kankaria. I have been into this SEO content, all of this industry since last more than 15 years. And have worked with teams from startups to unicorns and enterprises, worked with their teams, worked with the clients directly, and have learned a lot of stuff throughout these 15 years, have always shared those learnings through different formats. I mean, I write for Search Engine Journal, Search Engine Land. I also speak at couple of some of the largest conferences of SEO, International Search Summit in Barcelona, Brighton SEO, White Spark Local Search, and many more. But yeah, it's like really a pleasure having you all over here, because the things have been changing a lot, right? It has been changing since a couple of years, but then I think the biggest change happened, I think, last year. But then before we start, just a couple of things. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop those questions in the chat box over here. Our team or I would be taking up questions the way we get, the time. And yeah, you can. Also, one more thing, you will be getting the recording right after our session. No, on Monday. So we are going to send the recording by Monday. And if you have any questions, do get it, do send it. Our team will answer, or maybe I'll also answer after the session is over. Right, wonderful. Cool then. Are you guys all ready to start? I mean, can I have some yes or hoo or something like that in the chat? Maybe after that we can start. We have Bhatik. Oh my God. Wow. Oh, Karan is in from, right now he lives in Dubai. Wow. Nice. Yes, we are excited. We are ready. We want to learn. We want to unlearn something. Okay, cool. Now, before we take up anything, let's just quickly start. Awesome. And today we are going to discuss about SEO in the age of AI, right? Let me tell you how this entire thing started. So, it was 2025 that changed everything. Do you know what it changed? Let me take you through. So, the first thing that happened was HubSpot SEO collapse. I mean, imagine that HubSpot has been always considered as one of the benchmark for content marketing. But then there is always a time. Yes, we got AI overviews, more expanded, more into SERPs at different places. Then, thanks to Google for introducing AI mode. Then we have got crocodile effect. Okay, do you know what is crocodile effect? Let me tell you. So, this is how the search console looked like a crocodile for not just Ahrefs, but even for most of our websites. And that's true. I mean, this has happened to almost a lot of our websites where, it was content heavy websites, right? Then there is a time. What is that time? We always see some or the other Google algorithm updates. I mean, this time in this year, we had a bit less of them compared to the previous one, but a couple of them were really deadly this time. Then, of course, we got Instagram posts getting indexed on Google. I think that was a very smart move. Then we have seen that Zapier also saw the decline in organic traffic. Almost Google Discover is looking like Google SERPs now, right? With better UX, but still. And last but not the least, it's like impressions are so much impacted since a couple of months because Google disabled the ability to use the parameter n% 100, right? And we are now seeing that, okay, with the drop in impressions, of course, the conversion rates or the CTR rate would seem higher. But then this was a bigger thing, right? Because our visibility got impacted, right? But then with this, let me give you a little bit of
मतलब मेरा तो
experience.
इतना लाइफ खराब हो गया है, इतना लाइफ खराब हो गया है मेरा।
Okay, so how many of you feel the same expression right now? कि मेरा तो इतना life खराब हो गया, इतना life खराब हो गया. I mean, it's like just too much, right? But let me tell you, this is not it because this was just 2025. We are going to 2026. And just in these 22 days of January, we have seen Google introduced Universal Commerce Protocol, right? Which is agentic commerce. Then we have ChatGPT announcing just in this week that they are going to roll out ads. Of course, in a couple of accounts, but still. Then we have AI summaries in the local packs as well. So now it's gone. And last but not the least, Gemini personal intelligence. They will be looking out for your information in your Gmail, your Gemini, and almost all of your Google apps. Fetch the data, personalize it, and present you the results. And with this, there is one more thing that happens that with everything going AI, SEO is just evolving. But then you will think, evolving? Is it really? What's evolving? Let me tell you. The first and the foremost thing that is evolving is platforms. I mean, it was time earlier that we used to focus on, okay, just the search engines. Then we got Google Tools. Then we got forums. Then we got social media. I mean, we started doing YouTube SEO, Instagram SEO, Pinterest SEO, so much thing, right? And then now we have LLMs. I mean, it's just keep multiplying. But then that is not it. Not just platforms, but even KPIs for SEO are also changing. I mean, that too very dramatically. Let me tell you how. Here is first thing. So it seems like the keyword ranking reports are almost going. Why going? So here the dark result that you see, that is from Apple device and even from Safari browser, right? But here, this is from desktop and this is Chrome. But that is not it. This is also from Indian location and this is from the US, right? And here we are on seventh position on Google search, and here we are straight away, even we are being mentioned in the AI overviews and even the first position on Google search. Which means, how are you going to differentiate? I mean, there are SEO tools who would give you rankings for US. How are they going to give you for a browser and, like say device, right? Next is Google traffic for B2B pages are also declining. We are seeing this, and to be very honest, it is going to be like that. For D2C, product category pages are also struggling with UCP coming in place, agentic commerce coming in place. I don't know how much they are going to, sustain the organic traffic for the category pages or product pages.
मारो हमको मारो हमको जिंदा मत छोड़ो
So, yes, this is how we feel, right? And with this is not enough. There is one more layer to it. This is what we feel. And then we have bosses and clients we like, right? And then this is where we have to take a little pause and we have to understand. We have to understand that we can be visible on AIOs and even AI mode, right? This is one thing. Another thing is we can also get traffic and even conversions from LLMs. See, let me tell you, it's not something that we will see decline in organic traffic and there will be boost in LLM traffic. No, it will not be that way. But it will be like that, okay, we start seeing some momentum happening. We start seeing some people coming from such LLMs, right? And there are a lot of businesses who have already started seeing this. I'm sure we all have experienced this. One of the founders on LinkedIn recently mentioned that due to their mentions in ChatGPT, Perplexity, and all of those AI things, they have started seeing that Google organic traffic was declining, but their lead generation ratio was maintained, which means that your LLMs and conversions are being influenced. The branded searches, their traffic, and their conversions, not just from Google, but also the direct channel, right? So we have to focus on that how these experiences work and how users understand us and how they fill a form on our website, right? And this is what even Daniel mentioned. I mean, I think 2 days ago he posted on LinkedIn that, see, any which ways, getting clicks is going to be very, very difficult, right? So the focus needs to be on conversion optimization, engagement optimization, and building brand plus visitor loyalty. And with this, we also mean that zero click experiences become the majority of online journeys from Rand Fishkin. I mean, he has most of the time have been really way ahead of time, right? That's where the focus for all of our SEO effort or SEO investment has to be focused on building brand love and reputation. And how are we going to do that? So we have couple of queries, couple of KPIs to focus on. The first one is brand visibility. So, of course, brand mentions, whether it's linked, unlinked, if we get sub features, featured snippets, people also ask, well, featured snippets still exist. Then we have AI mode mentions and citations. We have AI mentions. We have citations, LLM brand mentions, and everything, right? But then it is a bigger bucket of KPIs to measure, right? Which will move into that. Once you're visible, it will move to the traffic, but the bucket will be narrowed. It will not be as many clicks that we used to receive in organic clicks. Next is out of those traffic, the conversion part. Definitely, there will be a chance or time where we will see the conversion ratio increasing. Why? Because clicks are reduced. Only the people who are genuinely interested in your brand would want to see how your brand works, how you provide services or you provided products, how does your platform look like, right? But here is the crux. The moment you get conversions or the way you get conversions, you have to monitor how they engaged, because that monitoring will help you actually plan all of these major or bigger KPIs, right? This is how we will focus on all of these KPIs. And that's where, congratulations, we are here at the zero click era. Why? Because here we saw that the bigger bucket is visibility and not the traffic, right? And that's how We all have been listening to this on social media. We have been seeing this zero click, zero click, zero click, right? Can't help it. This is where we call it as new SEO. SEO, search engine optimization, where we optimize how people search for the brand and how we are present when people search for our products and services on search engines, right? Nope. It is about search experience optimization. Entire experience needs to be optimized when someone searches for us, right? And before we go that, there is this great mention or great quote by John Mueller from Google. In Zurich, he did an event, he did this talk, and he clearly mentioned that when you have good SEO done, your AO or GO will also be good, right? Because that's what it is. SEO means AO or GO, right? So let's go. Before we move for any of the strategy, I think the first thing that we should never miss is the fundamentals of SEO, which are never going to be changing. No matter what platforms come, no matter what KPIs we target, fundamentals of SEO will never change. And what are they? First is audience and users. Every strategy that we curate has to be for audience and users. The content quality has to be of higher value compared to the content volume. PR backlinks would also need to be always contextual, authoritative, and relevant. All the tech things, especially the schema tags, this is how search engines and like AI engines actually crawl the data and understand about how the page is structured and how the content that you've created, right? So no, tech SEO is also non-negotiable. And of course, the website architecture, the structure, page structure, rich media, whatever that you include, that will always build the experience of the user for your brand website, right? Once we are done with all the fundamentals, we have to understand how LLMs fetch data for AI, right? Because once we know that, it would be easier that we plan a strategy for the same. We understood the KPIs that we want to target. We understood how SEO is just AO or GEO, right? But then we have to understand the platforms, how they understand the data, so that we plan a strategy accordingly. So, a user, they send a query, right? So, what LLMs do is they understand the query. Then it first go to predefined or pre-trained knowledge base, which is like static data that that is there always. And then they also look at real-time web retrieval as well. By the way, this happens in I think microseconds, even less than that. But yeah, they go to the live websites, they merge it, they do it through RAG integration, and then they come up with a structured answer snippet, right? That is how the answer is presented to you. So it's like the data is already there, the data that we create, both will be combined and then will be presented to the users. Clean. Now let's understand that how we experienced LLMs to be giving us the answer. We have to know that how LLMs fetch different static and live data. So for that, we conducted a small research. So we searched this particular, prompt. We put this prompt on ChatGPT, and we clearly asked them that what are the different automation tools available in the market for the below activities. So of course, for scraping the high quality link building contacts, outreach emails, and all of those stuff. To our surprise, for the first part of scraping high quality link building contacts, they show us Gumloop. I mean, I know I've been into this industry for so long, and I have very good friends in backlinking, right? And I've always heard them saying Hunter, Phantom Buster, and all of those. But still, Gumloop is on top. I don't know why. Then, for the second point, creating outreach emails and follow ups. I mean, come on, again, for that also, creating or automating personalized email sequences, also they are coming up with Gumloop. But, I mean, we have been using Lemlist for a lot of our clients, but then I don't know. Then we went to Google and we searched these two queries. First is email extraction AI, and another is automated cold email outreach to see how Gumloop is visible there. To be very honest, for both of these queries, Gumloop doesn't rank on page one. Then How did they fetch the content? I mean, how did they make it look on top for all of these queries? Because they have created their own content, they have user generated content across different platforms and not just their website, right? So they have content created for Gumlook for extract data, Gumlook for AI automation, and all of those stuff, right? And that's how it is. That it is not just that what you put on your website or on your blogging or backlinking thing. It's also around all the other content that gets published on any of the platforms. With this research, it's time to understand how are we going to do the keyword research for such zero click SEO strategy so that we can also get mentions like Kamloop. Yeah. Cool. So first thing is, of course, we have to keep targeting traditional queries for Google visibility and also for defining the entire website structure as well. So definitely we cannot ignore them. They have been our bread and butter for so long now. But yes, next is for AI visibility. I mean, we have to target hyper personalized search queries. I mean, look at this. Recently, we saw this for one of our clients in Search Console. We were really surprised that, okay, how many such queries are we going to get? Because there are millions of people that search this personalized, right? But then, of course, we have to go deeper into it. How are we going to identify how to put hyper personalized search queries, or how to see, or how to fetch, even where to fetch such hyper personalized search queries? Let's research about it. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to start documenting multiple ICPs, ideal customer profiles. I'm sure you must have seen such, like say data somewhere online, or maybe might be using some of them. But there is something more to this. Documenting is one thing, but you also have to go to LLMs. You have to put the entire company profile, right? And then you have to write this prompt, right? So that was template. But to get that information, which I have filled it over here, right? In that case, we have to put this in LLMs so that it saves time, right? And this is how we get it. We get multiple ICPs, and we can use all of these data and put it on that Canva thing, right? Well, that is one thing. Once that is done, we have to pick the goals, the challenges, and such different information present on that template, or the information that LLMs have given us. And on that, we have to identify and pick the seed keywords from those ICPs. For example, for this person, it's build a sustainable SaaS platform. It can be a very good query. We can write how to build a sustainable SaaS platform, right? For example, um, okay, cutting through startup noise and fluff to focus on what matters, right? How a founder can do it. Finding the right talent. Okay, I can write that. How you can find right talent who can match my vision and work ethics, right? We can create such questions. Those would be hyper personalized queries where someone would search and we would be presented to them. And here we go. The people who have put it on the chat as well as on our DMs that about the Canva ICP template. Here it is, the ICP that we created. This is the template that we use it internally and for our clients. Here is the QR. Quickly scan it, and any which ways we are going to send all of these over an email when we send it by Monday. Let me know once you're done. Awesome. We'll go forward. So, the next big thing, very important, if you're done with keyword research, but that is not enough. How are we going to utilize those search queries, right? So, for that, it's content strategy. And for that content strategy, my first and biggest recommendation is to stick to your niche and even sub niche, right? So this is what happened to HubSpot. I mean, being a CRM or marketing automation platform or whatever it is, they started writing content on .NET versus .com, and I mean, I don't know how that was related to CRM platform, right? So if you are into VoIP, make sure that you identify the sub niche into the VoIP, whether it is calling or whether it is PBX, right? If you're into fashion, whether you're into apparels or you're into beauty. You have to identify not just your niche, but even your sub niche, and you have to stick to it. That's final. Then the next recommendation that we have is stop writing very top of the funnel content. I mean, I've been saying this since last more than 1 year, I think, but then this is high time that we stop doing it. There are a couple of reasons to it. Very tofu content means that, what is this, what is that, why it is important, the benefits of this. These are a couple of very tofu content, right? And why we should not invest our energy, time, and effort to such content is because it has any which ways got AIOs, right? And imagine if they are such generic queries, their keyword difficulty would also be high, right? So you would need to also invest in putting more backlinks or internal links or optimization or what not, right? To make them stay here. It is better there are other many personalized queries that we can target for our content, right? And that's where we have to just stop looking at very top of the funnel content. And also, we have already seen couple of websites losing organic traffic big time because of AI use, right? It's not that they have been affected by Google algorithm updates, but still they are losing traffic. Then we have a study as well, right? There is a study by Ahrefs that clearly mentions that 99% of the time AIOs had informational queries, right? So I think we should not invest time there. There are many better content that we can create. Next is rethink when writing the best articles. Oh my god, writing those best Android camera phones, best top companies in Ahmedabad, top companies in the US. We love writing such content, right? It has been like, driving traffic, they would drive backlinks and all of those stuff. So, of course, they have been all time favorite for us. But let me tell you, they were the ones that were big time affected by Google's algorithm update in December, right? So rethink. I'm not saying that you completely stop doing it, but how you can do it so that it adds not just value, but even the impact and unbeatable impact, right? Then stop writing hub like content. So there is this one example that we have taken from one of our clients, and there is this article that was written in the past, and the what I can say is the topic how to enhance. So it looks like a guide, right? So it is understood that okay, it is how to. So we might have to show some ways or some steps maybe, right? But then when we look at the data or the content that we written in the past, I mean the team written in the past had almost everything. I mean, the reasons, the challenges, the key points, the data breaks, the tools, the role, the technology, and the support. I mean, they are just asking for how to enhance. The topic is how we can enhance. Just give me the ways, and I'm just sorted, right? That is what a user would think like. That's why we recommend a content outline something like this that, okay, why this matters, what it means, right? And the real world impact. We want to showcase that this is what has been happening to validate that we are not saying just for the sake of saying, we have data to prove it. And then, of course, the challenges to which we will have steps or ways to enhance them, right? And just conclusion, that's it. Here we can think of how we can add those experience and authority that we have for this particular industry and the topic, but still keep it concise and to the point. Don't exaggerate and create hub like content just for the sake of ranking on page one. Next is create more use case based, hyper personalized content. I mean, this is my personal favorite because, I wrote X thread a couple of years ago and it just got so much love from a lot of SEO legends and a lot of people, right? So then we decided that why don't we convert that blog, that thread into a blog, right? And we converted that. And let me tell you, it is one of our top performing blogs. I mean, right after homepage, even not our about us page or any other landing page, this is the one that is driving. I mean, to be very honest, when we wrote, it was not that having great search volume as well, but it is helping us, right? And then, once you're done with this, the focus needs to be integrating EEAT elements into the content. I mean, you've been hearing this for a lot of time. I've written a lot of content on the same. I've shared a lot of such things in all of the conferences. But still, I will say that, Just adding statistics would not be considered as the EEAT element, but the real life first hand experience of us, our brand, our company, our team would matter a lot, right? That is how, we always plan a content, and that's how, because such data, I think AI cannot replace it. We have to bring original data, the frameworks that we use, right? You can put some prompts on LLMs and they can give you some details, right? But those will be just information, right? And for that, we have created a validator checklist. I mean, for all the content that we create, we have a validator checklist for EEAT, just the EEAT, that if we have covered it into the entire content. So we have created this checklist. We have a QR for the same. Quickly scan it. And of course, this will also be sent to you over an email. And by that time, if you have any questions, I hope you are putting all of them up. Awesome. So that was all about, I think, the content strategy part. Okay, so before we move for the content marketing, let me see if we have, like, say, questions that we can cover. All right, okay. Do we have any questions that we can quickly pick it up? So I think Bhautik had a question. Bhautik says that, is blog relevant anymore in age of AI for brand awareness, or need to focus on any other things like social media? So I think a bit of your question might have been answered earlier in my session. So absolutely, blog is important, but social media is equally important, because a lot of social media posts are getting indexed on Google, right? So they will be visible there. So it's time that we make sure that we content create not just for blogs, even for social media. Even we can, if you are into B2B industry, you can curate case studies, you can come up with white papers and all of those things, right? So don't just stick to one content format, which is blogs. Identify what all types of new contents. I mean, these days, for a lot of our customers, we have started building some of their lead magnets, right? Some interactive lead magnets. You might have seen, on websites, some of the investment websites, there are some calculators, right? But then that is very cliche. Now a lot of brands are using it. But then we always try to come up with some things which can help us interact with our audience so that we understand their patterns, right? Wonderful. And the next question, do we have any next question? Okay, we have the next question. Okay, so how to optimize commercial landing pages or service pages? I think the biggest thing that we have to do is think like audience. Think like how you would do it, right? That you have to think of, okay, if I go to this website, do I buy for it, right? So this will be all experience driven. Of course, search queries matter. That we saw that, okay, we search on the SEO tools, we come up with a couple of queries, we have to make sure that we try and integrate them. But as I mentioned earlier, SEO is not just search engine optimization, but it is search experience optimization. So when you're optimizing the landing pages, make sure that while you integrate search queries, you make it interactive, you make it more innovative, you make it more creative. Because the biggest KPI to focus is to build brand reputation, right? Your first impression itself will build your brand reputation. So make sure it is that impactful that you don't even need such search queries to work for you, because technically, eventually, they won't work for you, right? So make an impact that is worth remembering you, right? Okay, last one more question. Okay, we have. All right, how do you see backlinks? Herschel is asking, how do you see backlinks values for GEO? Also, the way listicle sites are getting spam. How do you see that? Okay, Herschel, this is something that we are going to cover. Your first part will definitely be covering, but for the listicle thing, absolutely, we will cover in the same backlink section. I think. Okay, so I have this last question to answer before we resume, which is from Neha. She says, how we can target multiple cities via content. Technically, for a lot of such things, there are two different types of strategies that we have always noticed. One is that people create different city based pages. I mean, this works great for local SEO, right? But when it comes to B2B, it is like that I would not recommend going city specific pages. Rather, I would recommend that you implement, if you have non English regions, I think you can target based on that. But that language specific or location specific pages have been working a bit for a couple of our B2B brands as well, right? So you can test it, you can see which works for you. So we have both scenarios where you have city specific landing pages, and then you can also go for international SEO where you have non English pages as well, for which we have created the landing pages, right? Cool, then I think it's time, let's move forward to the content marketing. So till now what we have covered is how to do keyword research. We've understood how to curate content for the same. But then curating or creating content is not enough, right? We have to market it as well, right? And here is where the first thing comes into the picture is integrate with the social media team. Bautik, your question, right? You mentioned this question that should we just focus on blogs or social media team? I understand you also had a follow-up question that the clients does not have that much budget. I understand that, but then see, if they are not on all the platforms, or if they are just on blogs and not doing any social media marketing, they would not have the brand reputation that is going to be built on social media. Because we know that, right? We have that jo dikhta hai wahi biकता hai, right? So if we are not visible, I mean, imagine if we see any ad on Instagram, right? What we will see, we will go to their Instagram profile, we will go through it, we will see not just the number of followers, but we also see that how much engagement do they have, what people comments on that. Then we go on Google, we identify, or in the link in bio itself we click on the website, we see how the website is built, does it sound trustworthy or not, then only we buy from them. Agreed, right? So that is the reason why integrating social with the social media team matters the most, because on Google search it has separate section which says what people are saying, and it has got YouTube, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, everything. So make sure that you don't just keep creating blogs or case studies or white papers, but you also integrate them so that the content, language, brand language, everywhere is same, right? Next is utilize the newest social media platform. Woohoo! We have Google Business Profile. I know, I know. Google Business Profile has been there since years, ages. But then why we call it as newest social media is because this is the one platform or one tool that we have full control of, because we are managing SEO. For social media, you have to integrate with your team, you have to integrate with the people who are managing social media. Sometimes they might be hesitant for some trends going on, they might have some like say fitting issues, like where to put a particular content so that their calendar does not get impacted, right? But this we have full control. For one of our client, we just posted 1 day ago, I think, and for their Chinese herbal medicine services, right? Technically, we don't have a dedicated landing page for this on their website, but then still, when we searched for it on Google, we found it from another landing page where we have just mentioned it, I think once or twice maybe, right? Then again, when we went to LLMs, we saw that LLMs also fetch data from local packs, right? So that is the reason why you have to, utilize Google Business Profile, not just for local SEO, but also to help LLMs fetch the data. Remember, we understood it fetches the static data and it fetches all the live data, right? So why not utilize the tool that we have full control of, right? And by the way, before we move ahead, we can use the same content that we posted on social media. We can get that content from the team and we can post it. We don't need a separate budget for this. Then try Reddit marketing. Well, this has been always, very hyped one, but a little cautious. Be really cautious over here, because sometimes the older Reddit threads are visible on SERPs, right? And they are closed as well. So you cannot even go and build your authority there. Though I don't know why people uh, discuss buying diamond jewelry on Reddit, because personally I just go for Instagram and Pinterest. But then still such discussions happen. I'm sure they would be SEO people. I hope so. But then still, right? So try it, but it is definitely worth giving it a try. Next is backlinking. Great. So here is another statistics to look at. Of course, AI needs data to prove its point, that we saw it, right? And here is a statistics from Aerops, which clearly mentions that 85% of brand mentions in AI search come from third-party content, and only 13% content comes from brand-owned domain, right? Which means, of course, we have to continue doing our guest blogging or any kind of digital PR that we are doing. Harshal, to your question, absolutely the impact is definitely there. But when it comes to the listicle part, let me tell you, listicle also has its own way to do it, right? Not every time we want to curate the same content again and again. We don't want to curate, like, say, top 10 IT companies in Chicago. And then we have the same listicle but different content on different platforms, right? Because that is something that would have almost the common or cliche content. But in that case, if we try adding EEAT elements, right, where you fetch the third party experts data, you put author profiles, you make it look verified across all the other domain experts, I think we can test that, because of course it was just December. So we also have not got time to test it, but we can definitely try with adding EEAT elements to all of the listicles that we create, and not just give normal information, because normal information to AI bhi deta hai. What are we giving, right? So yes, and then we have to make sure all of our backlinks are of your niche, sub niche. Hope you guys have remembered, right? We searched for something on programmatic SEO, and these were the top three websites that I saw. I would not mention the names that were, towards the seventh or eighth position, but these were the top three, right? Where the DR is not exponential or massive. But then, since they are relevant, since they are contextual, even their organic traffic is not that great. They have not been affected by Google algorithm update, but backlinks needs to be built to provide value to the audience. What we have been seeing is that, the backlinks that get impacted, the blogs, the websites that get impacted, are those websites where search engines or any algorithms get the sense that, okay, there's nothing new value given over here, it's just the same. I think it might have been created for manipulating search. That is quite likely possible. And now AI algorithms are very mature, no human intervention is there, even for this manual action that takes place, right? So with this, I even want to mention this, that mention is also important, not just linked or unlinked, like, say, links, but then mention is also important, irrespective whether it is of do follow, no follow, or whatever it is, right? So backlinks, absolutely, tech SEO, content SEO, on page optimization, backlinks, they all have been very, very important. But it's just that to achieve results at scale, at speed, we might have compromised the quality of value that we give out. And that's where we get impacted. And that's what we don't have to do it anymore, right? So that comes to an end. We discussed queries, we discussed how to search for hyper personalized queries. We have also discussed content strategy, how we can curate it for the hyper personalized this thing. Then we also have content strategy, content marketing, and even backlinks. But we rolled out a form where we had received a couple of questions, where these questions are really interesting. So please give too much attention over here. And if you have any questions, of course, once we are done with all of these questions, we will again take this, your questions. Wonderful. The first question that we have is someone who asked us that, can we create the bite-sized content the way AI gives? I mean, I think this has been the talk of the town. I mean, a lot of SEO experts have their guides and everything written, where they clearly say that, okay, since they don't have time, LLMs don't have time to crawl your entire content, entire your 5,000 word content or something like that, So create bite-sized content. I understand that that's how LLMs fetch it. But then LLM is right now the way Google was 15 years ago, before Panda and Penguin updates. So my answer to this is no, big no, right? Because SEO has always been platform agnostic, whether it is search engines, whether it is answer engines. You have to create content for users and not platforms, because platforms will follow if your users are engaged with your content, right? Bite-sized content, see, if you want to test it, you test it. If you get success, it's great. It's like programmatic SEO. A lot of websites did programmatic SEO, they got early fruits, and then they got affected by Google algorithm of update after a couple of years maybe, right? So I think, what do you want to plan? Whether you want to plan a short-term strategy or a long-term strategy, that's completely your call. And even, by the way, for this bite-sized content, even Google's Dennis Sullivan recently said no to create bite-sized chunks, right? Because you will create it for search, answer engines, right? You will not create it for users there. So there's no point in creating it. Okay, next question that we had is, should we allocate a dedicated team that looks after AU or GO? I think yes. This question we also have received from a couple of clients actually. But I would say that, it completely depends on the scale of your SEO investment, right? If you have bigger team size, like say you already have 10, 15 people working on your product SEO, right? In that case, of course, to have a dedicated team would make sense. But then if your scale of SEO investment is not that great, I think the existing team would also work fine, right? But still, it is good that you discuss before you, decide. Next question is, with AI coming into the picture, should we stop investing in SEO? Ha! Oh my God! It looks like the SEO is that kind of a question, right? But as I promised, I will not go to that direction. But let me tell you that, if your target audience is present, they are searching on search engines, if they are searching on answer engines, you cannot ignore investing in SEO. It's just that your time and effort and energy would increase. Absolutely, it could increase up to 5x. But then, if your target audience are there on answer engines and search engines, you cannot ignore SEO. And okay, there's another question. At SaaS SEO Alliance, Jaipur, you told research driven content would be highly valued. But with AI, do we still need it? Oh my God, sharp memory. Okay, so for that, let me tell you, it's not just that I have mentioned that. I mentioned it based on my experience. But recently, Rand Fishkin added this, on their blog, where they clearly mentioned that out of top five, the fourth trend is value of written content tips from humans to algorithms. Right? I mean, we provide them the insights, and that's how they pick it up. Right? So your research, your experience, your mistakes, your learnings, that would create a better content, that would make AI sustain and train its models. Otherwise, static information is too much there out there, right? So we don't want such more information. We want better, right? And I think, okay, we are done with the questions over here. So let's take the questions from the audiences here. Okay, do we have any questions? If we have them, we can quickly put them over here. Okay, any questions? Okay, so we have question from Sagar. Yeah, hi Sagar. I do remember you. So yes, do we technically signal information gain so the AI recognizes our content as unique primary data rather than just another generic source it can summarize? That's right. You can do it, but the point is, what if there's no value? Even if we give such signals, but what if there is no value, right? Then this information gain would also be not at all considered. Even then Google would have to drop this part that they can take information gaze as, a serious of a part, right? So consider that how you are unique, you are authoritative, you are what I would say, experienced in this field. I think that's how LLMs would even want to fetch the data, because that will be your personal experience, and people want to hear from personalized experiences. So, yes, you can do it, but then not at the cost of quality. Yes, any other questions? Okay, let me, by the time you guys are putting up your questions, or you can also put them over an email, and even our DMs are always open for your support and for your help. But before we go ahead to anything else, be mindful when optimizing for AI. Why this has to be? Because LLM tools fetch data from anywhere on the web with no predefined quality raters. We saw it, right? There were 80 DR, 90 DR websites they were ranking, or they were cited on LLMs quite down, and the DR 45, 46 were on the top, right? So it's just that they can fetch data from anywhere. So you have to keep looking out that how many pages that you are getting cited for, and that you can analyze and keep optimizing them. I think this reminds me also, there was a question from Neha, I think. Neha asked me this question. Okay, Neha, again have a question, I think. We have created multiple pages for cities like Pune, Bangalore, and the main website pages are for Pan India. Will that work? Okay, so in that case, try with the regional language as well. For Bangalore, which is the language which is most common, try to include those phrases. Also include I would say, in Pune, try to add Maharashtrian slang or the words or something like that in the content, right? So that is something that you can try, because we tried this for a Spanish content and we started seeing visibility from Spanish. I mean, from Spain, of course. So try that. It worked for a couple of times, but see how it works for you. And do let me know whether it worked or not, so that we can be on the same page, right? There's question from Pranchu as well. Some LinkedIn posts say they fired a whole content team. Okay, is that a question, by the way? Okay, but then let me tell you, yes, that has happened. That has happened for a lot of our clients. I mean, I think 2 years ago, people started firing their whole content writing team, and it is a truth that has happened. And it's like, it was the time when we started doing the sessions for the content writers as well, here in Ahmedabad, with content writing symposium. We started doing that because we wanted to make them aware that, how this industry is shifting and how the writing teams can also shift. But definitely this is happening. They are shrinking their content teams, and they are more relying on automation with quality. So they might want to have just one editor, right? They would want to have one editor who would review and humanize the content that is written, right? But they would not want to have any writer who does not understand the brand, who does not understand the thought process, who does not initiate any kind of innovation in the content, right? So, of course, founders, I know a lot of those founders. I've been dealing with them for so long time. So I know, and they want the writers to be as smart as AI. So, yes. And then, okay, there is a question from Bhavesh. How can we find AI presence of ours and competitors? So technically, of course, I think Neha had a question that, whether we can invest, or whether which SEO tools can provide us AI tracking. I think both have the similar question. So there are tools available, SEMrush, Ahrefs, they both have such AI insights. And now a lot of tools are integrating such data. But let me tell you, this is a very beginner's stage, right? We cannot wholly and completely rely on whatever information that we see, because even I remember Lily Ray, right, from Missive Digital. See, I mean, she keeps on always putting a lot of content about and she keeps on testing a lot of tools. She has been testing Systrix and SEO testing and a lot of such tools, right? So even she mentioned that while using all of those tools for AI tracking, they all are different. and none of them that she found is closest to, very hyper personalized queries. Because of course I would not just search for list me top 10 companies in Ahmedabad or top 10 companies in Chennai, right? Or top 10 companies in Chicago. I wouldn't search for that. I would want to say that, okay, I am a founder with this much team size. I am building something like this. Tell me who has built something similar to this. And please make sure they are in my region so that my communication can be easy. So all of these information, they will go out, LLMs will go out, fetch the data, and then based on that, they will curate an answer for you, right? So AI tools, I mean the SEO tools, they have AI features, but it's yet for them also it's like testing period, right? So they are also fetching the data, testing it, how accurate they are, and something like that. By that time, you can yourself do a couple of searches and see, but make sure you don't end up clicking on the competitors. Otherwise, it will be considered as those brands are more engaging, right? Cool. And then we have, okay, so I can create a location specific pages for that location without having actual company there and provide digital. Well, this might have worked in the past. It might not work today. That if you have a location specific page in the US, but you don't have a separate vibe or something like that, it might not sustain. You have to have that local vibe and local, slang into that particular page and see how it goes, right? Wonderful. So we were being mindful when optimizing for AI. So this is one thing. Another is don't create content for the platforms. Guys, for God's sake, create it for the audience. Build a brand reputation that stays no matter what may come, right? So create it for audience, create it for your brand. Again, AI can give you ingredients, they can give you just information. It is humans that can add flavor to it. So, Master uh, Rugved said, humanize your content always, to which Shifu wanted to know how, right? And that's how, check out this blog for instructions. We have come up with a blog. We have actually written the entire process that how you can humanize AI content so that it does not look robotic, it looks personalized. And to this, we are also coming up with a next webinar on how to humanize AI content, which will discuss the strategy, which will discuss the structure and the voice, everything, right? For that, details will be shared soon. Make sure that you have marked us safe on your inbox so that our emails doesn't land on spam folders. We are going to share the video, the assets that we have discussed, all those templates or frameworks that we discussed. All of those things we are going to send email to you on that. And even going forward for all of these details, you will be the first person or first batch to get information about our next webinar, right? So before we close, I think there is one more question. I think we can take it up. So we have a question from Ankit. Top 5 industry leading related product review are ranking in LLM. In my industry, B2B, that kind of sites are ranked. Is it worth to display there? So technically, yes, if they are the websites that are driving social proof, if they are defining the brand reputation, if LLMs are fetching data from those websites, then yes, we have to be there. We cannot ignore what like say LLMs do. They go and fetch the data and we have to be there. That's how we are going to build the brand reputation. Yes, ma'am, I'm learning AI agent through N10 tools. Wow, do share with us that how you are experimenting with N10, right? And to just end it, don't just create content, create an experience your target audience can't resist. Be a thought leader, be a brand, right? So thank you so much, everyone. It was wonderful having you all. You were quite interacting and lovely audience. We really love you all. And if you still have any questions, do share us. We will be sending an email to that also. You can reply with your questions. You can DM us with all your questions. And also, if you want to catch up, we can catch up, right? And yeah, I think that is how we say goodbye. So, see you all, everyone, in our next webinar and on the other side of the world. See you, everyone. And I'll be expecting some kind of social shout outs, by the way. So, don't forget to tag us on any of the LinkedIn, any of the Twitter posts that you shared your learnings from our webinar. All right. Okay. See you, everyone. Thank you so much for being lovely audience and just have a really great night. Bye bye.